Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. On the agenda tonight we have Dick Dale, and this is going to be coming from 1963, and it's going to be his performance of Surfin' and a Swingin'. So let's get Dick up on screen and see how he gets on.
Dick Dale, Surfin' and a Swingin', so let's have a fine hand.
Well, I looked at the heavies, they were moving in fast. I knew I better make it, cause they just don't last. I'm surfing, yeah, swinging and a surfing. Yeah, the sand and the sea is the only life for me. I'm surfing, yeah, just surfing. Hot dogging on my board, gonna have me a ball. Rode a breaker in, and that was all. I'm surfing, yeah, swinging and a surfing. Yeah, the sand and the sea is the only love for me. I'm surfing.
I'm just going to jump in here. If you're just wanting to watch alternate picking, this is the video to go to. This is really early on, 1963, and again, Dick Dale is one of those guys that influenced so many players afterwards because of his technique. I know that Jimi Hendrix has cited him as an influence when he was playing. I know that I cover a lot of different guitarists, a lot of different genres on my channel, looking at players from the past and modern players as well, but this was one of those sounds that Dick Dale made his own. It was really seen as like a surf sound and surf guitar, and when you hear the guitar played this way, that's just instantly what you think of, and this is the guy that really introduced it. And within this performance we've got that Missilou track. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that correctly. It's an Eastern Mediterranean tune that was around in the 1920s, but then Dick Dale took it on and gave it this sound, this unique sound, and his version is what the Black Eyed Peas, maybe younger people will know it from Pump It, from their song, which in my opinion the best bit of that song is the guitar. And it tends to always be the way nowadays that when modern bands sample other musicians from the past, they just take great melody and great playing, and then that is the attraction of their track altogether. You know, it's taking from the past, and a lot of youngsters might not know that this little part that you hear has been around since the 1920s, but then Dick actually added his own take on it. And what's interesting about his playing, as well as having that alternate picking, he introduces that Egyptian scale, so it's always going to give it a unique sound. I know that the track originally was from that area anyway, so it's going to have that sound, but even when he is extemporizing and writing different parts, he'll often go to that scale, and it just gives it a really unique sound, something different. It's going to give you something different to all the pentatonics that everyone's used to hearing, and blues scales as well. Let's have a little listen to the rest of the track. And there we go. The cool thing about Dick Dale's playing is the fact that he said himself that his two passions was surfing and playing the guitar. So it's great to have played the guitar in such a way that it can be attributed to surfing. It can actually be the music that everyone listens to or everyone puts over the top of video of surfing is this style of playing, that alternate picking. Of course, with the alternate picking here, he's spending more than one pick on each note. He's actually spending kind of 5 or 10 picks on each string, on each note, whereas with alternate picking nowadays you often have players that just have one note per pick, and that's the whole kind of shredding style. But that actual technique in the first place is coming in here. He was also someone that worked on the technology side of it as well. He worked really closely with Fender on making the first ever 100-watt amp. So he was really pushing the technology and pushing the volume, getting as clean and loud a sound as he could. So he was a trailblazer in that respect as well. We all know from the gigs that we've seen with the classic rock bands that have then got stacks and stacks and stacks of amps in the background, and often what actually happens is they mic up one of them or even half of one stack, and that is the sound you hear out front, and the other 4 stacks are just there for show. But in terms of pushing that volume, especially back in these early years, having a 100-watt amp would certainly make you stand out compared to the competition. As well as working with Fender on amps, he's a Fender Stratocaster player, and he's got his own signature model, the Dick Dale Custom Shop Stratocaster. So he's also got actually Custom Shop 54 pickups on that. So it's a really cool throwback. It was one of those things designed to make it sound like the first ever Fender Stratocaster. So yeah, really cool little details on that guitar. Another thing about Dick's playing is the fact that he's left-handed, and he's one of these guys that used to play a right-handed guitar and didn't change the strings when he then swapped it over. He literally played the guitar upside down. Jimi Hendrix, when he played a right-handed guitar left-handed, he changed the strings so that he could still play it in the normal way. Whereas Dick is one of those guys that just kept the guitar exactly as it was. He then obviously changed to playing an actual left-handed guitar, as we can see here, because the machine heads are actually facing the right way. But just the fact that he still keeps that stringing exactly the same as if it were on a right-handed guitar, so he's just playing upside down. I don't want this video to go on for too long, but what an interesting player, what a great combination of alternate picking as a technique, and then pairing that with those new scales that people wouldn't necessarily have heard a lot in the mainstream, and just putting those two things together just makes it really interesting and great. The fact that his music is almost like a genre in itself. Whenever you see someone surfing, you'll have Dick Dale's playing over the top of it, which is really cool that he's combined his two loves together and they've just gone hand in hand. And also pushing the technology, increasing the volume of the amps. Also reverb. Dick Dale was one of those guys that pushed the envelope on reverb as well, so you can hear that in his subsequent recordings afterwards. But really interesting play, and thanks so much for suggesting this video for me to take a look at. Keep those coming in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!